Hello there. It's Loren from Tanglewood in Costa Rica. I hope you're well. It's another beautiful Friday morning here. I know it probably gets old hearing that all the time, especially if it's not so beautiful where you are. I know in many places. I was just got off the call with a group Skype coaching call with several clients, one of whom is in Colorado, where it went from being 80 some degrees to being 15 degrees in the last day or so. So I know some people are now experiencing fall, autumn in a real significant way. And of course, if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're coming into the spring and hopefully having some more beautiful weather each day. Whereas in the north, it's maybe getting a little cooler each day wherever you are. I always loved October up north, but I like it even better here in Costa Rica, where it's beautiful almost every day. We do get a lot of rain this time of year, although most days, like today, we have a fair amount of sun. Right now, it's funny, I said that, and the clouds just rolled in. And so it went from being quite bright to being a little bit less bright than it was. But it's a beautiful time of year here. Almost every time of year is. Joan Bailey, good morning. How are you? Kisarat, hello there. Good to see you. Tiara, hello. Good to see you. Good morning. Jerry says, hey, Loren, what's exactly the difference between electrolyte drinks and natural spring water during a fast? Well, the difference is that with one you're fasting and with one you're not. When you're drinking spring water, there are some naturally occurring inorganic minerals in small quantities, and that's perfectly fine. Your body interacts with that as water. When you're drinking electrolyte drinks where they've added electrolytes, your body interacts with that as nutrients, and you're not fasting. So it's a completely different thing. There are specific physiological changes that occur, a whole cascade of beneficial changes which occur in the absence of nutrients and calories. And the only exception to that is the naturally occurring inorganic minerals in spring water. As soon as we do anything where we've added something, even salt, your body says, nope, this is something else. Okay, John says, hello there. I can buy organic frozen blueberries cheaper and more conveniently than I can unfrozen. What's the downside to frozen? Well, the downside to frozen is that you're actually changing the molecular structure. No, what's happening is as you freeze a fruit, the water inside the fruit and berries have a lot of water in them. The water molecules freeze. They form ice crystals which burst the cell membranes. And that means that you are then losing much of the nutritional value. So frozen food is a significant compromise and should be consumed only occasionally. It's not something you should be eating very much of. We want to eat fresh food as much as is possible. Okay, even if you've taken these beautiful berries and frozen them yourself, it's not anywhere near the same thing as consuming fresh fruit, fresh food. Nowhere near the same. Okay, so I hope that's clear. But my suggestion to you would be to eat fresh fruit as much as possible and to consume frozen food only occasionally. Here we have frozen bananas, mangoes, strawberries, all organic, and we will every once in a while make ice cream or something. But it's an occasional thing. All right, Tiara, hello there. Good morning, Cynthia. Retrofuturism, hello, 4 p.m. in the UK. Yep. Jerry, thank you. That's the explanation. You're very welcome. Sonia says, do you have knowledge about the kombucha drinks? Well, I don't recommend consuming fermented substances. I know, people use them. I'm just going to close this door. People use them for the, I don't want to, I'm just thinking out in that direction is our pool and patio, and I don't really want to bother our clients who might be sitting out there who might prefer not to be hearing this. They can go hear it later if they want to. But so I don't recommend consuming fermented substances. We don't need the probiotics involved, and they're acid forming in the body. And I have a very simple test. What happens when you put anything into a really clean body? Clean bodies reject the stuff. Okay, my body rejects it, does not want it, doesn't feel good. We don't need it. The science is really clear that with the exception of those people who've really decimated their own beneficial bacteria, the beneficial bacteria are really hard to kill off, and they come back really easily. So there's no reason to use those things. Judy Osborne, hello there. Good morning. Good to see you. Joan says, what do people over Skype calls break their fast with if it's winter, December, January in Canada, Vancouver? Apples don't have much water, and it's apples. And if it's apples, should I peel the skin off or do a different fruit? Well, you should be fasting with guidance, which would help you make those choices. Apples are not the best choice. If they're the only choice, that's fine. Citrus is a much better choice because citrus has considerably more water available, right? It takes stool is 75% water. So if a fruit is 75% water, you're getting almost no water into the body. If a fruit is 82% water, which is roughly where apples are, if I remember correctly, you're getting about 7%, of that 82% water. 75 is going to be going out with the waste. That's stool. So you're getting about 7% of that water into the body, not of the water, but of the total, right, is going into the body. If you're eating citrus, which is closer to 90% water, you're getting twice as much water into the body. So I would always choose citrus over apples or pears. Okay, citrus is going to be a much better choice. Okay. Fayon, hello there. Many people experience hair loss a few months after prolonged water fast. I also get hair loss during an 18-day water fast, and 3 months after the fast, I'm still having it. Do you know the reason for this? Well, I think it's much more likely to happen where your nutrition hasn't been optimal before or afterward. And so the best thing you can do is to prepare for the process as well as possible and to have guidance. Again, I mean, folks, I know some people don't want to hear this, and yeah, fasting is free, it's natural. Unless you've grown up around fasting and have a lot of experience, you're always going to have a far better experience having guidance. And so, I mean, I literally get 4 or 5 messages every week from people saying, I fasted on my own, I created problems, can you help me? Okay. I don't recommend doing it. I don't know anyone who really understands fasting that recommends anybody fast on their own. I just don't think that's ever going to be a really great idea. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is what, it happens sometimes. It happens relatively infrequently with the people I work with because they're typically better prepared, assuming they do what they need to do. They don't always do that. Some people don't take coaching very well. But, if they do, then they're going to usually have far fewer issues with that. Kitsarat says, how well can the fasted and diet optimized body deal with exposure to environmental toxins on a daily basis? Well, I'm not sure how to quantify that, but what I can say is that the fasted and how did you state that? Diet optimized body. That's very, very well said. The fasted and diet optimized body can deal with those environmental toxins much better than a body that's not fasted and doesn't have, isn't in a diet optimized state. They may be fewer symptoms, but the symptoms occur because the body's cleansing and healing. So you want your body to be reacting in whatever way is necessary, responding in whatever way is necessary to clean the garbage out. And that's going to look and feel like symptoms. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how to quantify that, but certainly far better. The cleaner and more efficient the body is, the better it's working, the better it's going to be able to deal with whatever it needs to deal with. And this is certainly no exception, right? This situation is no different. Bogdan says, hi, Loren. For about 1 year now, I suffer from insomnia, difficulty to fall asleep, and wake up every 2 to 3 hours to urinate, occasionally difficulty breathing, and some tinnitus. Should I water fast? Yeah, absolutely. You should water fast. Based on what you've told me here, I mean, obviously there's a lot more information. I would say at least 21 days. But again, only with experienced guidance, because it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, I've yet to fast a single person who said to me, no, I got better results on my own. And the results, I mean, it's often a world of difference, right? We often have people say, wow, this is way more powerful or way more beneficial than what occurred when I fasted on my own, okay? I mean, it happens all the time. Right now, I've got probably 10 or 12 people here who fasted on their own, and they're all going, I had no idea it could be this much more powerful. And there are several reasons why that's true. Okay. But the biggest piece is because they're doing it correctly. If they're taking coaching, I know what they need to do. And most people don't do so well on their own. Even if they know what to do, they don't do so well on their own without having that coaching, that guidance, without having someone to answer to, right? That they're talking to on a regular basis. Here, most people have a much easier time if they're open to doing what they need to do. It's much easier for them to actually do it. Okay, but yes, you can almost certainly deal with most, if not all, of these issues by fasting long enough and properly. And I'm not saying 21 is the right amount. It's the shortest fast you should do. It could well be that you benefit from fasting longer, but I'd need more information to know for sure what would be optimal for you. Tiara says, Loren, what natural organic food, fruit, vegetables do you recommend for healing, to heal injury from accident for face? So, okay, so I'm sorry, I'm not sure I'm completely understanding. You had an accident, you injured your face in some way, and the question is, what should you eat to heal your face? Well, the best thing to eat to heal your face is nothing, because fasting is the most efficient way to allow the body to heal. And I mean by far, like it's light years ahead of eating anything. So rather than consuming any particular fruit, the best thing would be, to get a bunch of tall glasses of clean water and to focus on consuming only that, okay? Because we can't do any better than that. Eating whole food, eating solid food, eating and drinking juices and smoothies isn't any better. It just takes too much energy, and we don't get anywhere near the same level of healing. So if you're able to take some time off, and obviously if this is a serious thing and you want to heal as well as possible, do what you need to do to take the time off. Do what you need to do to get someone to supervise your fast. I could probably help you with that. And I guarantee you're going to see amazing results. That's by far the most efficient and effective way. Far, far more efficient and effective than eating anything. There's no food you can eat that's going to give you anywhere near the same degree of cleansing and healing. Okay, Thian says, in the second week of my water fast, muscle cramps appeared. I took a small amount of colloidal minerals and the problem disappeared. How do I deal with this if supplements aren't allowed while fasting? Well, you simply deal with the discomfort. But again, this is where it's useful to have someone who understands what's happening and can tell you if there's a problem or not a problem. Taking minerals while fasting means that you broke your fast. And so your results aren't going to be anywhere nearly as powerful as if you had simply been fasting. Jerry Sharp says, does apple cider vinegar good for fasting? Apple cider vinegar is good for nothing, actually, Jerry. All vinegars. So Paul Bragg, who sold apple cider vinegar, promoted the idea that it was a health food. It's not a health food. Apple cider vinegar is, like all vinegars, is acetic acid. It's in the same family as alcohol. It's a cellular poison. So I would never consume it, ever, and certainly not while fasting, because it contains nutrients and if you're drinking vinegar, you're not fasting, okay? But there's no reason to ever consume vinegar of any kind. And again, for those of you that are new to me and my work, perhaps, you want to be clear about one very simple thing. Cleansing and healing are biological processes. And what that means is they're processes that are created, that are carried out by the living organism, not by the substance, right? There's nothing you can eat, there's nothing you can drink that's going to make that happen better. It just doesn't work that way. What substances do is they suppress symptoms. Okay, medicinal substances are substances which are toxic to your body, which your body reacts to in a way that creates symptomatic relief. And so, and many people think, well, if I'm getting rid of my symptoms, I'm better off, right? Well, no. Symptoms are evidence the body's cleansing and healing. So, of course, no one wants to walk around with symptoms. But what we want to do, rather than suppressing symptoms, right? I mean, it's not like we have the options are suppress symptoms and feel better, or never suppress symptoms and have symptoms the rest of my life. The options are suppress symptoms with some toxic substance and feel better, or get out of your body's way. Let it do what it needs to do to actually cleanse and heal itself, and then there's no need to injuries. I don't use any herbs at all. I don't, if I have something I need to heal, I'm going to rest as much as I can, and I'm going to sip the water that I need for my body to be getting its needs met. Now, what I need is going to be different than what somebody else needs. So I can't tell you how much that is without measuring daily vital signs. There's no formula that you can use. Okay, those things are nonsense. It doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are. It depends on the specific conditions of your body, including toxicity, vitality, and many other things. And so we can't measure those things. We can only see on an ongoing basis by properly interpreting daily vital signs whether you're actually getting the water you need or not. And that you probably need someone that can help you interpret that. Okay, let's see, where are we? Here we go. X Black Sheep. Hi, Loren. Have you ever considered living every day most of the time? Right? By the way, it says we have an unstable connection, so I'm not sure if you can still hear me or not. It looks like we're back. So I'll just keep on going if it says unstable connection. By the way, if you are enjoying this so far, if you're finding some benefit from this, and if you're not hating me too much yet for what I'm telling you, then you might want to thumbs up it and feel free to share this as well, because that helps us get the message out to more people. Very few people are truly healthy. More and more people need to know what true health is about. And you can all help that by helping to. Yeah. So prana, no, I have never considered giving up food because I don't frankly believe that's what we're intended to do. And the people who are out there teaching this have, as far as I know, pretty much all been proven to not actually be doing it. Okay, so I'm not really sure that this is something that the human body is capable of for a prolonged period of time, the average person. It may be possible that some of us can achieve that, some people could achieve that. Maybe you have to be more enlightened. I don't know. But we have a fully functioning digestive system. And what I found is that over nearly 28 years now, is that if I stick to fruit and leafy, soft, tender leafy greens, I feel and function amazingly well. I don't age the way most people do. I don't have any of the issues that other people have. I do incredibly well and have tons of energy. So I don't see myself improving on that by giving up food, and I don't see any reason to believe that that's going to happen. And so no, I haven't thought about that. Not planning on trying that experiment anytime soon. But thanks for asking. Okay, let's see, where are we? Oh, damn, always happens. It moves really fast when I scroll. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, and there's a lot of comments. So I really appreciate everyone being, participating and being so active. It's just a question of whether I'm going to get to all this stuff or not. So I apologize if I don't get to you today. It may be difficult to do. I'm going to take a couple of minutes, by the way. There's the commercial portion, right? That what keeps us going is we need your support. And so, first of all, as I've been promising to be going to our web people today, it will probably go out to our list first thing on Monday, I'm guessing. If you're on our email list, you'll be getting this from us. If you're not, why not? You should be. But if you're, you can join the list by going to the webpage and signing up for it. And I'm sending a letter out that's going to be letting people know, about the nature preserve, this big project that we're creating. It's called, by the way, I'm not sure if I ever told you, it's called Las Cascadas, which means the Cascades, the falls, because so far our latest count is we've got about, and I say about because we don't really actually know. It's a little bit funny. We have landowners that don't know how many waterfalls they have on their property. I've got one that's got a pretty big fall on his property he's never seen. He's actually never been to it because he's got a big piece of land and it's a hike and he's never been there. But we've got about 16 waterfalls on this site that we're going to be turning into a nature preserve. And when I say turning it into, I mean, Most of it is currently forest. Some of it is pasture, which will be reforested. There'll be a small amount of development that we can bring people in who can stay inside the preserve. There'll be some bathrooms and some trails, etc. But the idea that, overwhelming plan is to preserve this land so it never gets developed, that always produces oxygen, right? Everyone here is aware that the Amazon is on fire, and that's how we get oxygen, is trees. So tropical rainforests are really important. And it's interesting. I'm going to pull up a calculator here, because what we're hoping to do with this project is to reforest eventually about 1,000 acres. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's say 500, because we have land now that we're going to reforest, and we have land we're going to preserve that's already forest. Let's say it's 500 acres that we're going to be able to reforest, and you can plant on those trees anywhere from. So that's 250,000 trees. 250,000 trees. It's estimated by the I think it's called the Arbor Foundation, that a tree has a lifetime value, if we look at the amount of oxygen produced, if we look at the fact that it helps stabilize temperature, if we look at the fact that it conserves the land, the earth itself, there's a lifetime value of $165,000. And so planting 250,000 trees has a lifetime value of $41,250,000,000. Okay, assuming that those numbers are accurate. I don't, they came up with the numbers. They're actually looking at the value of the oxygen, et cetera, et cetera. And this, by the way, there's many other values that we're not even considering. What's the value of habitat for other species, right? It's been estimated that all wild animals, all wildlife will be extinct in 40 years at the current rate of extinction. This is the 6th mass extinction on the planet happening right now. And we're contributing to it with our choices, which is why you might not want to buy more than you need, because manufacturing is harmful. It's why you may, if you're here today and you're still eating animal products, I understand, because I did that for many years myself. Okay, I've been vegan now for more than 32, coming up on 33 years, I think. I've got to go back and actually look. But if you're using animal products, there's nothing more destructive to the planet, and the planet can't afford that anymore. Okay, but if we're able to plant 41+ billion worth of trees, and it's going to cost us $20 million to get the land and et cetera, to make that happen, that's a pretty good investment. If there's some way that you can contribute to that, that would be amazing. Right now, we're actually needing some funds to move this project forward. I've pretty much put in everything I can personally, and we're now needing to raise some money. So one of the things, we're still helping with Tanglewood, because right now, before our rates go up in next week, there's an opportunity. And the opportunity is this: reserve your future fast now with a US $900 deposit, and you lock in our current rates, which will save you hundreds of dollars. Pay in full now, and you save 10% from our current rates, which will save you twice as much, roughly, if you rather than waiting till our prices go up and paying that. So there's an opportunity right now to save quite a bit, and all of the funds coming in, whatever we can afford to use, are going toward the project. That's where everything's going right now. Whatever's not going here and to fund operations, it's going to the project. It doesn't go into my pocket. I don't take a salary. Okay, the center gives me the apartment. I don't have any living expenses. I don't have to buy food. I don't have to pay for my travel when I travel to speak. That's all covered by the center. But I don't get a check every week like my staff does. Tomorrow morning, before I go live, I will pay 15 other people their salaries. I don't pay myself. Someday that will need to change, right? Here's a sense. This is from last week. This is the pay from last week. So here you get a sense. There's all our staff, and these are contractors and other regular payments that I have to make, including mortgages, taxes, insurance, et cetera, et cetera. And I know, there are always people that say, "Oh, I can't believe your prices are so expensive. People can't afford this." It depends on where you're coming from. I understand it's all relative. There's a businessman here now with his nephew who said to me, "Your prices are amazing." He said, "I couldn't get a hotel room of this quality for anywhere near this price." Okay, and hotels don't give you back your health. They don't teach you how to take care of yourself. They don't guide you through a life-changing, life-saving process. You know, you don't get, all you get is a bed, a place to sleep. Here, there's a lot more than that. But anyway, there's an opportunity right now. And if you want to do this, send me an email, Loren@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com, and I can help you get this discount because the time is running out. Similarly, our fruit festival prices will go up next week, and our fruit festival is amazing. Dozens, last year more than 50, more than 4 dozen different types of fruit, all 100% organic, amazing food. We spent a day at an amazing beach, the highest waterfall in Central America. We'll go to this project. We have yoga classes every day. We have a couple bonfires. We have live music. I give a lecture every day. You know, and you're staying in this spectacularly beautiful environment. I know I can see several clients here who've been here who know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who've never been here, you know, even people who, like, they've watched the videos, they've looked at the pictures on our website and our Facebook page, and still they get here and they go, "I had no idea. I had no idea it was this beautiful." And it's, you know, the way people feel here, it's amazing. Okay, so act now because prices go up. This is the time to act right now to save. Help us create $41 billion in benefits to the planet by helping us support this project. There'll be more coming soon, by the way. The website, we have a website going up for Las Cascadas, and I just got a draft to review this morning. I haven't had a chance because I've been on calls now since 5 o'clock this morning. It's 9:40 my time. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I'll be looking at that later on today, making any necessary changes, and hopefully getting that up soon. I mean, it's going to be a work in progress. There'll be new video coming soon. There'll be new photos over the next 2 months or so coming soon that we'll be uploading. Some cool stuff. So if you are watching and you have a vlog, you have a show of any kind, and you'd like to bring me on, I'm happy to do that. I do a lot of those, and that's another great way to help get the word out. So, you know, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm doing several of those. I had a guy from Brazil do a fasting documentary in Portuguese and interview me in English. Well, I interviewed myself. He had me record something in English, which he then uses parts of throughout the process. And we are now talking about doing a documentary here where he'll fast here, and he'll get that together. That's probably going to be 6 months or so more before that's up. In fact, I have a call on Sunday morning with another gentleman who's doing a fasting documentary. He's going to interview me for that. And there's another one that's possible, but it's a network show, a network series on health, and they want to do a program on fasting, and they called me to interview me about interviewing me, and I think they're thinking this guy's a little too out there for our viewers, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let me go back here and see if I can figure out where we were. Okay, here we are. So let's see. Yeah, Eric Ferris. Eric, how are you? Eric says, good morning. There are no bad bacteria, but isn't it true if we ingest some of the wrong ones accidentally, say from not washing our hands or food or something else, we can get sick? Yes, that's absolutely true. If your body isn't capable, if your immune system's not capable of dealing with those things, then they can, you're going to have some symptoms as the body works to, get rid of whatever it needs to get rid of. But that's really the only concern, and in most cases, it's not a big deal, right? So, again, I would take antibiotics if I ever believed that I had a life-threatening infection, but I would only do it if I truly believed I would die without them, because I don't want to put those toxic things in my body and destroy the beneficial bacteria, which is what happens, okay? We're harming bacteria that aren't the problem, okay? They're actually part of the solution. Let's see. Martin says, hello from Austin. You often say eating a small salad. Why not a big salad with lots of greens, of course, with just a few ingredients? Actually, I don't know that I've ever said a small salad, Martin. what I talk about is a simple salad, not a small salad. Okay, simple salad, because as you know, as you just said here, it's about having few ingredients for optimal digestion. We want to keep the combinations to a minimum. So my salads are typically, I didn't have a salad last night because I got back here too late to do that. So I had a much quicker and more simple meal. But typically a salad for me is lettuce, tomatoes, some avocado, and maybe some cucumber, and maybe one other thing. You know, what night before last, we have a lot of star fruits most of the time. And so star fruits I find are delicious in a salad. They're fresh and juicy. They're just a little bit tart, and that's really nice in a salad. Right, by themselves can be a little too much sometimes. I'm not sure how many meals I'd want to eat of star fruit, but I find that in a salad, perfect. So there's an example of 5 ingredients, and that's typical for me. But my salads are pretty large. They're not what you're going to get in a restaurant. They're going to be 2 or 3 times that big, typically than a restaurant dinner salad, usually much larger than that. Google One user says, excellent idea, Loren, doing a live chat. Great to see you. Thank you. It's good to see you too. Yeah, you might not be aware of this, but I've actually been doing live chats now for about 4 years, 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure how long exactly. I started out actually here on YouTube, and then for whatever reason went over to Facebook, and I've been doing Facebook lives every Friday morning in English now for years. And when I travel, sometimes it doesn't happen. It can be difficult. And on Saturday mornings, I do the same thing in Spanish. The problem is that ever since, let's see, 7 weeks ago, I got back from a trip, and we got here to open this session. And for whatever reason, when I try to go live on Facebook, well, at the time, it wasn't working. I haven't tried now for about a month because I thought, okay, well, I'll just go to YouTube. And some folks had said you should do YouTube anyway. I tried YouTube, and we get more people. It works perfectly well, and I've had no issues with it. And we actually seem to get more people here. So, I'm probably going to keep doing these lives on YouTube every week, 9 o'clock Friday morning. Today I was a little bit late getting started, and unfortunately, I only have about 10 more minutes, and I'll have to jump off the call because I give a lecture here at 10 o'clock, and there's a couple things I need to do before that. So hope you understand. But anyway, Eric says, even if we are clean and healthy, I guess that's attached to the other piece. Yes, we can get sick even if we're clean and healthy. Yes, in fact, getting sick is your body cleansing and healing. So if you're healthy, you're going to get sick if your body needs to cleanse and heal. It could be a very mild symptom, and you may not really experience that as sickness, or it could be something more intense. It's hard to say. But yes, there can be some symptoms if your body needs to cleanse and heal. That's what cleansing and healing is. So absolutely. Solid Spawn says, what does it mean to experience suppressed emotions during a fast? What are we supposed to do when they come up? Okay, well, so most people, I've worked over the years now with well over 10,000 clients. I stopped counting. We got to 10,000. It may be closer to 11,000 now, but let's just say over 10,000. And virtually everybody suppresses emotions their whole life, right? We've grown up believing that there are certain emotions we shouldn't feel. As guys, we shouldn't feel sad, right? Big boys don't cry. Women shouldn't feel anger. And so we suppress these emotions. We distract ourselves from them. We use food to push them down. We do whatever we can to keep ourselves from being able to feel. What we need to do when they come up is simply feel them. Simply feel the feelings. Notice what's there. That's it. Oh, look, I'm feeling some sadness. And then simply be willing to feel the sadness. Don't try to change. Don't put on a comedy. Don't eat a bunch of garbage to suppress. Don't do anything. Simply feel the feelings. That's it. Once we've felt the feelings dissipate of their own accord, and we don't have to do anything else. Okay. And now we can actually exist in a healthy way emotionally with whatever's going on in life. It's a way more empowered way to be than trying to suppress every emotion that comes up, which unfortunately is what a lot of people do, is suppress their emotions. Okay. Martin says, would you eat from a long bean and turnip and broccoli? No. I wouldn't eat turnips and broccolis. I mean, I have eaten broccolis. I'm not sure if I've ever eaten turnips. I have eaten broccoli raw. I don't really enjoy it though, and don't believe it's something that our bodies easily digest, which means we're not getting any benefit from it. So remember, Martin, that how many nutrients something has is not important. What's important is, can we easily get those nutrients into our bodies? And the answer in most cases with cruciferous vegetables is no, because they're too hard to digest, right? Again, this has been proven. It's been shown that we can get the vitamin A equivalency units from beta carotene in fruit 4 times more easily than we get it from kale, leafy greens. These dark, hard to digest leafy greens. These are things we should not be eating. Okay, green beans, maybe if they're freshly picked, maybe, but the rest, no, definitely not. Okay, I can't read this name. Looks like JSB DJ. Hello there. How? It says Loren Howe. Hey, Loren Howe. Okay, not sure where the rest of that went. Google One user says, thanks for following up on the great natural hygiene guys of our history, like Shelton, Errett, Russell, Thacker, etc. You're very welcome. Yeah, I mean, I'm in hallowed company, and hopefully someday we'll have as much to contribute as some of these guys. Crispy Vegetable says, hey, Loren, favorite channel by far. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. No Stress 37. Hello, sir. What's your opinion on consuming sea moss, and also known as Irish moss? Well, these are seaweeds, and we don't need to consume seaweed. You can consume some. Seaweeds contain B12 analogs, which look like B12 but don't function like B12. And they occupy B12 receptor sites, which means when you consume B12 analogs, your body has a harder time getting the B12 that it needs from the food you eat. So probably something that you want to eat relatively infrequently, rather than something that would be a regular part of your diet. We are fruit eaters. Fruit, soft, tender, leafy greens is the best we can do, and there's really nothing else we need. And how about spirulina? Spirulina is the same. Worse maybe, but basically the same. Not something I would. We don't need to consume these things, right? Forget about the fact that they have loads of nutrients. Again, if we can't easily digest them, we're not getting those nutrients. And so it's not about the nutrient content of the food. Right? Dr. Joel Furman says, eat the most nutrient-dense food possible. You mean like trees? Because they're loaded with nutrients, and they're very dense, and we can't digest them. And we can't digest broccoli and kale and a lot of other things much more easily. Mushrooms, which he recommends, proven to all be toxic. Even white button mushrooms have toxicity. So how much of them should you really eat? Maybe not. Nuts, which he recommends, have been shown to damage our blood vessels. Okay, concentrated fat from any source, not what we should be doing. Okay, so yeah, not something I'd recommend. Carrie Adkins, wow, blast from the past. Hey, Carrie, how are you? I hope you and your beautiful family are doing well. Nice to hear from you. Chris says, on which date is it possible to visit Tanglewood for 4 to 5 weeks in December, going into January? Can you talk about your new development project also? So first question first, and I'm almost out of time here, in fact. Now, if you missed it, I did talk about the new project a little bit, not a lot today. Maybe we'll do another one of these. I may just have to cut off questions because we get all these questions. I never get to whatever I was planning on talking about. But I did talk about it a little bit earlier. It's going to be an amazing project. And there will be a website coming soon. So next week, perhaps, we'll already have a beta version of the website up. There's going to be changes happening and more coming soon. But at least we'll have the first piece of it up and ready to look at very soon. In the meantime, I can tell you that we reopen on the 21st of December. That would be the first date you can arrive, and that would be the date to arrive if you can. However, I should warn you and anybody else interested that we are nearly full for December. So if you want to come then, you're going to want to reserve your space like now, today, because we literally are down to just a couple more spaces. We're almost completely full. We will have openings later in January, around the 18th of January are going to be the first openings, most likely. I mean, we still have a couple of spaces for someone that wants to do 1 or 2 weeks, because we don't do much of that. And we have people that couldn't get to us until the 28th or the 5th of January. And so we do have spaces available for very short stays, early and late in December. But for people that want to do 4 or 5 weeks, which is what almost everyone does, most of our clients are here 4, 5, or 6 weeks, we have very, very little space left. And in case you didn't hear me say it, if you reserve now, you can save money. Okay, if you book now with a deposit, you lock in our current prices before the prices go up next week. If you pay in full now, you can save 10% off of those rates. Email me. So go ahead and fill out the form today, and email me today, and I can get you a PayPal payment request at the discounted rate so you can save before the rates go up. Okay? I hope that helps. And then if you want to go back, if you missed it, you can go back and listen to what I was saying. This recording will be up soon, and you can go back and listen to what I was saying about the project. Keep It Real says, to get the lymphatic system pumping, you need to move, walk around. So if you are fasting and just sleeping all the time, how does the lymphatic system clean your body? Unfortunately for us, that is simply not the case. We do not need to be up and walking around to get our lymphatic system moving. Our lymphatic system is always moving, even if we never move. Okay, and that's because it's pumped by the heart, just like our bloodstream is. Okay, so all of the lymph comes up through the neck and then goes into the thoracic duct, the vein going back to the heart. Okay, and so when the heart beats, it's pushing blood and it's pulling in the blood and lymph coming in from above as well. And so we do not need to be moving the body. Now, most people get up and pee. Most people aren't completely stationary, but even if you were, it would still be working perfectly fine because your heart's doing the work. When you get up and walk to the bathroom to pee, you're doing some of that work as well. Walking does pump your lymph as well, but we don't ever have to worry about that. We don't ever have to think about that. Okay, it's being pumped perfectly well by the heart. How am I doing? I've got to get off in just a moment. Is it painful when old stuff comes out after a fast? It can be. It varies from person to person. That if you want to make it less painful, before you come to us, follow the directions I give you in the pre-fast Skype call. Okay, which means you're eating as well as possible for at least 3 to 4 weeks before coming. And that way, you'll move a lot of that old hard stuff out. You'll soften things. You'll start the process a bit earlier, so it won't be as difficult when you get here. Okay, that's by far going to be the best way to do it. Frederick says, can you heal ulcers with fasting? Yes, of course. Anything that can heal will heal more quickly fasting, because fasting, remember, the body does the healing and the cleansing. Fasting simply gives the body the optimal conditions to allow those things to happen. So they're going to happen best when we get out of the body's way and let them happen. All right, you're very welcome, Tiara. Keep It Real says, lack of movement, proper lymphatic flow requires deep breathing and body movement. Yeah, we already covered that. No, it doesn't. But thanks for your opinion. Alchemical, somebody says, binoculars. What if due to being so accustomed to eating regularly, one struggles to sleep as a result of hunger? Any suggestions? Just rest. Anyway, okay, I mean, you're in charge. Your body's not. Your body doesn't make you get up and go to the fridge, regardless of what you're accustomed to doing. If you decide you want to do something different, you can do that. And that's, we are powerful beings that get to choose. So you decide what you're going to do. Again, my advice, come to a place like Tanglewood. You'll have a much better experience. If you can't get here because maybe economically it's out of reach for you, I can work with you via Skype, and it's a lot easier with guidance. You'll have a much better experience, and you'll get much better results that way. Okay, folks, unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop there. I've got just about 5 minutes. I've got some things I need to do before I'm out there in 5 minutes. So I've got to say goodbye. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Again, if you've enjoyed this and haven't already done so, please give us a thumbs up here, and feel free to share this broadcast with your network with anybody you think might benefit from it. Put it on your Facebook page, share it to your page, share it in groups, whatever you think would help people by getting the word out. And I'll look forward to seeing you soon. I'll be back next Friday. Hope to see you then, if not before then. Take care. Bye-bye.